Hi, everyone. Welcome to a very interesting day on planet Earth. You may have been feeling the shifts that have been happening especially since the recent move into the age of the Aquarius with the planet Pluto. And the chances are you're really feeling the effects of that currently. I've been talking to a lot of people who've been talking about how extreme the energies are at the moment, but more importantly, how they are moving some deep things that have been, I guess, trapped within their body, and all of a sudden they're coming up to clear. And one of the themes, especially for this week, is the feelings of not good enough. So how do I know that this is a theme for most people? Because I get to talk to a lot of people from around the world, and they start discussing how they feel really in their body, like as if um, there are deep feelings of I haven't done enough, I'm not good enough. What comes into that must be something within inside us, whether it's abandonment or shame or some lower energy emotions that are kept there. And also with this is some absolutely vivid dreams and memories of, for instance, past lives, past experiences. And if you take it from the quantum field, we're doing our past lives concurrently. So they're all shining their light into now and affecting us in this very minute. What will help you, because this is not just something emotionally that's sitting there, it will be mirrored somewhere within your body. So you will perhaps be feeling like there's, for instance, if you're very low energy, it could be your spleen or your kidneys where there's fear. Somewhere in your body, there'll be something that's stuck. And so there are a number of different things that you can do to help that and support you. And you need to do a number of things. The first thing is move. So if there's energy stuck in your body, you need to move, whether that's walking or doing yoga. A couple of nights ago, I couldn't sleep, so I got up, and I think for a good hour and a half, 2 hours, I just intuitively let my body move the way it wanted to. And sometimes I was lying on the ground and it was shuddering and shifting and moving. And I just allowed that to happen, because that's always a sign to me that my body's wanting to release. So I've spoken to a lot of people that have only had very short sleeps over the last few nights. I even rang my grandson today because it was his birthday, and he said, "Oh, I only slept for 2 hours." And there was a massive battle in the field last night, really quite a heavy battle that my husband Brian saw as a clairvoyant he saw last night. So we did some of our techniques to support the field and to support other people. So I'd like to share a number sequence with you today. And I'd like to preface this with some process that you can do to help you with understanding what's actually happening to you. So I just need my glasses on so I can read this. So recently I posted into our social media about this feeling of not feeling good, not good enough, which then you develop little patterns or belief systems. So to keep yourself safe, for instance, you might not want to look or be around a lot of people, or you develop a strategy to help you deal with things. And sometimes they're very unconscious strategies, especially if you're not feeling good or you're empath and you feel like around people you're picking up their energy and things like that. So you mightn't feel safe. So a couple of things that you need to understand. And the first is that when the creator views you in the quantum field, he doesn't sitting there making a judgment and sees all your um, disown parts, or he doesn't see you and judge you as bad or not good enough. That's something that we collectively have done to ourselves. And also the systems have been supporting our disconnection from the creator. So when the creator looks at you, He looks at you at a full quantum of love. And if you can think of that as light, he's always sending that light to you. And so in the field, if he might notice, okay, in this area, there is not enough light in that area. So I'm going to make sure that I amplify my light in this area so it is restored to the norm, till everything is harmonized. Now, that area that I'm talking about is you. In the quantum field, you may be in those lower emotions. And so he just keeps sending an impulse. Now, when we get into the challenges in our life, we make little statements like, why did God let this happen to me? Where was the creator in this? How can he let this happen? Especially if you're looking on the world stage and you see some atrocities that are happening. You'll say, if God loved us, why did he abandon us? No, he didn't abandon us because you don't understand the full quantum. And in fact, your judgment of it and your emotions of it are actually causing more of that to be in the world, because we are creator beings. That's why the darker aspects of our world want us to be focused on lower thinking and lower emotions. There are a couple of things to help to shift you out of that. So in the last few days, I've been talking to people who have been telling me this story, how they've been a victim to, and the whole events, and they've got a very interesting and challenging times that they've been through. And so in that moment when you're challenged, you're only looking at half of a quantum field or half of the quantum energy, not the full quantum energy of unconditional love. And so here's a few questions that you can ask yourself. When the challenge is happening, and it's usually happening with people, you can ask yourself, what did I want in my heart from this challenge? What would I've really wanted in my heart instead of the challenge? Or from a person? What is it that you wanted from them? And how would it have made you feel? And once you can identify that, you'll know whether you've got to the real core, because it will be, you're almost like, yeah, this is it. It has an energy behind it. So once you've identified that, then the next question to ask yourself is, who gave me or is giving me these things that I most wanted in my heart? Who gave me or is giving me these things? And it requires you to step back, have a look, and start to see. So you won't see it from the people that you normally think it should come from. It may come from your friends and relatives, someone at work. And at the same time you're feeling the challenges from people, you're also receiving what you want. And when you can see that, you're getting not just the negative, but you're also getting what you most want in your heart, that's when you start to see the full quantum that is available for you at all times. And what happens is, when you can see you're getting what you want most in your heart, then you drop the charge in the quantum field and you're open to receive the full quantum of the Creator's love for you. Otherwise, when we separate ourselves, and we've been taught to separate ourselves, we've been taught to think we're not good enough, the Creator looks down on us, we've separated ourselves as an aspect of the Creator, and we've made ourselves less than. And so this then helps to keep us in a roller coaster of emotions and events. When you equalize and harmonize that aspect in yourself, you stop the feelings from coming, the challenges of those feelings coming to you. You stop the challenge because you've equalized it. You've learnt the lesson, the earth lesson, I guess. So here's a number sequence from 𝐏𝐄𝐑𝐒𝐋. There's two. One is personal identification. This comes from his book, Number Series for Psychological Norming. And the number sequence has some breaks in it. So you'll hear me stop, and this means it has a break. The first number sequence is 598, then there's a break, 067, a break, 918804. So again, 598 067 918804. So the minimum amount of times that you can repeat a number sequence is 3. So I know some people like to just repeat it over and over again. And what that is it's like singing into the unified field. You're speaking the language of creation, and you're restoring the distorted information of how you identify yourself. So that's the first number sequence that you can practice with. And obviously, when you get a little bit more experienced in your consciousness, then you can start playing with them, for instance, looking at them in geometry or in a sphere, and just notice which, for instance, number or numbers seem to grab your attention. And then you focus on those numbers until all the numbers are the same. The second number sequence, also from the same book of Grabovoi, is collective identification. It's 514217, and then a break, 219890. So again, 514217, 219890. Now I'm going to pop those two number sequences and the description from Grabovoi's book below this video, so you get to see those. Now, if you're just new and you haven't, played with number sequences before, then just repeat them, or as I said, observe which number or numbers are jumping out at you, and then hold your objective. And what I mean by that is, so for instance, the words for this is collective identification. So you can say in your consciousness, harmonize the collective identification. So this was, for instance, if people, and it can be any emotions, it might be where they're not feeling good enough, or that they've been abandoned, where there's been negative emotions within people or negative programming. And so instead of seeing as poor and separate from the creator, we acknowledge the aspect of us that is creator. And in that way, by focusing on our objective as we observe and look at the number sequences, then we're starting to give the information into the field, like, this is the correct information. I'm acting like a key in a lock and unlocking the distortion that is in the unified field. And that's some key things that you can do. So use number sequences and actually use the process of asking yourself that question. Where is it? This challenge, how is it benefiting me? Who am I having to become? And this is really important at this moment, because we are being cleared of all that energy, especially since Pluto entered Aquarius. And what is happening is it's a disruptor. So it's deconstructing all the distorted information. At the same time, it's a rebirth planet. And so we are moving and shifting through that. And of course, the age of Aquarius is where we've all been heading to. We've been in the Capricorn energy, and we've moved into the age of Aquarius, where we'll be for the next 20 years experiencing. So we're going to see a lot of that disruption and also a lot of rebirth. And as we, humanity, rebirth to truly the magnificent aspects that we are, and then reawaken in ourselves the memories of truly how powerful we are, how loved we are by the Creator, and start to bring through that more loving energy, and start to be able to affect humanity by seeing yourself in a different way, by the people that you meet, and being able to make a difference in their lives. And it might be just through using some words. Maybe the questions I gave you today are the questions that you ask somebody else when they're down. And I know I had the opportunity to do that when I was driving a staff member today, where we're talking about some challenges. And just in that moment, when she was in her drama, I could say, well, who gave you What did you want? Who gave it to you? She said, oh, I got it from my dad. He was so soft and he's not usual like that. I got it from you and Brian. And I got it from my friend. And she could see as she started to unwind that and look, she could see that she actually was getting the support and love and care that she wanted in her heart. And in that moment, she said, oh my gosh, I never looked at it like that. And she had a tear rolling down her face because she could feel the love that was there for her. It's a very powerful thing when you can shift the, logical left brain mind that tells you that your life is full of missing things and you never get it. You just got to be open to the fact that it doesn't always turn up in the way that you think it should turn up. That's not how it works, because quite often, if you're expecting it off a partner or somebody or a parent, if you go back and have a look at their life, they don't actually have what you need. And so they've agreed to play a sole role and perhaps challenge you in a way that you feel like you wouldn't want to be challenged, but in essence, push you more towards your friend. So instead of expecting it from a partner, they behave in a way because you've agreed as souls, as you sat around the table going, let's come to earth. I've got some lessons to learn. And then what happens is you get to see pushes through that extreme behavior to the people that are going to support and give you those things you most love in your heart. And then when you can observe the world like that, stand back and observe where the love is coming to you, you see the whole world in a different way. You start to see the blessing. I was speaking into the 𝐏𝐄𝐑𝐒𝐍𝐈𝐅 Academy the other day, and we were talking about love because the last bit of Grabavoy's daily concentrations, the last few days, is all about love. And I was speaking about the fact that in the media, all they show you is the war and destruction. But what you don't see is how the Creator is acting in that to awaken within each person the love. So maybe it's a person who's been very passive before, all of a sudden has to pull on their personal power, become resilient, and take the courage to speak up or act in a different way. Or perhaps it's compassion where there's devastation around them and they're having to support and help other people where they haven't before. We don't know everybody's journey on earth, but all the media show you and all the systems show you is the distraction, help you to feel helpless to do anything because you're taught you're just a small nobody person. You can't affect anybody at all. But in fact, when you realize in the quantum field how you are behaving and feeling, this has an effect on everybody in the field. So please, when you see images in the media like that, and perhaps you've even got to the stage now you don't even watch the news because it's all programming, just don't look at it and make a judgment on it of this is horrendous or whatever, or these group of people are terrible. You don't know what their soul mission is, and you don't know the bigger pictures. Just like some people come to go through a process and they die in a horrible experience, know that that was part of their mission to be here. We've just had two girls in Australia who went to Bali for a holiday after school, after they finished school, and they were poisoned with alcohol. And even just looking at that, it's devastating because they're quite young. But it's really awakened something within the parents, and they're advocating for making young people more aware. So there's always something in there that sometimes we can't see, but we just have to hold the knowledge that the Creator is there in every part of the situation, and it doesn't need our negative thinking or emotions in there to create more of what we don't want. Anyway, I hope you're having a great week. It's been a challenging day today for energy-wise, but get into nature if you can. Go and hug a tree. I hugged my tree in the backyard today and had a little chat with it, and I'm feeling a lot better having earthed. Lots of love to you, everybody, and see you next time. Bye for now.